Good morning, Jay Williams. Welcome back to Let's Live Life. So today I'm going to talk about family and friends. Who are your family and your friends? It's a question right there to think about, Your friends, they represent you. Who you run with that's how you're viewed. They say you can take 3 millionaires and put a broke person with them, and in due time you have 4 millionaires. Or you can take 3 broke people and put a millionaire with them, and in due time you got 4 broke people. That's a true fact. We never really know who our friends are. You can meet somebody today and not know that 25 years from now, you and that person are still going to be, side by side or in contact on a regular basis. If nothing else, you'll hear from them at Christmas time. I have family that I don't even see as friends, just because of the distance or the way they act. And I've got friends that I'm closer to than I am with family that I consider family. Something I did that was detrimental to me getting to where I'm at today is I had to determine who was worthy. And when I mean worthy, I mean who should I choose to keep in my life and cut off. A lot of times we look at it as if, you've known somebody so long that you're obligated to stick it out with them through whatever they go through. That's not the case. If the ship is going down, you've got to save yourself. You got to always, self-preservation is always number one. I talk to a good friend of mine all the time. He's incarcerated, and his mind is blown by the fact that I was able to come home and just cut off all these people I had known all these years. That wasn't something that I felt had to happen. It was something that absolutely had to happen. A real friend, a true friend, someone that really cares about you is not going to sit back and watch you self-destruct. They're not going to let you do things that are bad for you. They're going to speak up. I got real close to a guy named Jimmy on the last part of my bid, and we were just, telling what we call war stories. There's not a lot to do in there, so you talk a lot about, the streets, things that you had did. Guys lie about stuff. I've never been big on lying. If I say it, it happened. Somebody will always validate everything I say. But anyways, Jimmy was, listening, and, Jimmy, he's a friend of mine to this day. He turned out to be a really good guy. And after I told him a story, he sat there and he looked at me and he was like, "What kind of friends did you have?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" Those were my homeboys. Those were my friends. He's like, Jay, those aren't your friends." So how do you figure that out, my friends? Man, I've known these guys since I was a teenager. He's like, "That doesn't mean they're your friends." He was like, after that story, there's no way you can consider them guys your friends. He's like, "I'm your friend. I wouldn't allow you to go out there and do what you were doing. I wouldn't have, because I care about you." All your friends that, people that claim to be your friends, look at them. See what they do on a day-to-day basis. Say something stupid and see how they react. See if they laugh or would they allow you to get yourself in trouble. Those people are not your friends. Our friends sometimes can be our biggest downfall. When you're younger, you're impressionable. So what you hang around a lot of times is going to be what you ultimately, turn out being like. In my neighborhood, it was about how tough you were. So naturally, I'm going to become tough, or I'm going to act tough, or, whatever I got to do to fit in. I did. I came home, and these guys that I had ran with my whole life, I had to cut them off. Because they weren't concerned with me. They weren't really my friends. My friends aren't going to let me do things that are going to send me to prison. They're not going to sit back and watch me destroy my life. That's not a friend. Everybody's always so big on, well, he needs my help, or she needs my help, or if I'm not there, this is going to happen to them. At the end of the day, that is not your problem. It's not. Especially when the choices that someone's making are choices that they're choosing to make. They're in a situation because they choose to be in that situation. I know people that are in relationships with people that are full-blown drug addicts. oh, I can't leave because if I do, this person might end up dead or locked up or whatever. You need to get the hell away from there. You need to ensure that you're okay. Know when to cut these people off. To this day, I've got so many different guys that I do see as my friends. And I can count all my friends on two hands. But I met a lot of good guys in prison that I did not forget about. I keep money on my phone. So if they need someone to talk to, they're having a bad day, they can reach out to me, and I'm always going to be 100 with them. I'm always going to be honest to them. I'm always going to help them in the best manner I know how. Just because you're locked up doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you're a person that made bad choices. Now, there are people that are locked up that are bad people, And I can tell you stories of some guys that, should never, ever see these streets again. And those are facts. There are some crazy people in the world that deserve and absolutely need to be incarcerated because, they're hardwired wrong. There's no place for them out here in the real world, in society. Some of my friends I look at as family. Some of these guys are guys I may have known a couple of years. Some of these guys I may have known my whole life. And then I have family that, the only reason we're family is because we have, somewhat the same blood coursing through our veins. My circle is small. That doesn't make me antisocial. That doesn't mean, I think I'm better than people. My circle is small because there's not a lot of people that I can actually say have my best interest at heart, have their best interest at heart. That's very, very important. Who you run with in life is very, very important. If you see me with somebody, 9 times out of 10, it's, someone that lives in my household or it's one of my employees. You're not going to see me in a carload of guys riding around. I did that when I was younger. You know what? All those guys that I bled for, got locked up for, went through all these crazy things for, they're no longer around. They're either dead, in the penitentiary, on the way to the penitentiary, or have moved on doing good in life. Your friends are the ones that are going to be there for you when you need them. And when I mean need them, not when you become a heroin addict and now you need to borrow money and you're enabling them. That's not being a good friend. If you want to know who your friends are, think about it like this. Your electric's about to get cut off tomorrow. And you've got people in your life that work jobs, that have money, they have savings, they have bank accounts. How many of those people could you actually call and ask, for help? How many people do you have that if you had a flat tire and you were on the side of the road at 3:30 in the morning would actually get up and come get you? Not a lot. But at the same time, you'll say, my friends. You know what I used to think my friends was not what they turned out to be. Just because you kick it with somebody all day, every day, and y'all are into the same things, that doesn't mean shit. That just means you're at a phase in your life where you and these people are doing the same thing, and they would do the same thing with anybody else as long as they have somebody to kick it with. It blows my mind. Like I touched on last time, how guys get out of prison and first thing they're concerned with is their friends. You come home and you want to shine for all the wrong people. You want to impress people that have nothing. And they have nothing because they choose to have nothing. They have nothing because they choose to do the wrong things with their money. They choose to be in the wrong environment. They choose to be around the wrong, type of places, people, and things. Today, if I call you my friend, that's a badge of honor. And I mean that. I will come to your aid. If there's any way I can help you in life, I will. But that's because you've shown me that you are a good person. You're someone I can trust. You're someone that cares about me. Because I care about people. More than I probably should. I genuinely care about people. I hate when I drive down the street and I see someone standing there holding a sign. It breaks my heart. Because I look at this person and I think, someone that was a baby at one point. Somebody used to hold that little guy right there and feed him. You know, somebody used to rock him to sleep and put a bottle or a nipple in his mouth. And here he is all these years later, standing on a corner homeless. That was somebody's baby. That breaks my heart. I've passed my friends and I know there's nothing I can do for them. And I know that we're no longer friends, you know. You have got to know that who you have around you is worthy of being around you. Don't let the people around you destroy you. Don't let them tear down everything you've built. You know, I don't need to be popular. I don't do these videos so that everybody can be like, oh, he wants to be a YouTube star. I do these videos because this is what worked for me. And the world is not a perfect place. There are a lot of people out here right now that need to hear these things. A lot of you people watching this video are going to get calls in the days to come, may get interrupted by watching the video by somebody that you think is your friend. You know, so many of my friends are now, well, what used to be my friends are now strung out on drugs. And when I mean strung out, bad, to where that is their main focus in life. If you were to ask them how they got started on drugs, I can promise you 90% of them are going to tell you the same thing. Well, my homeboy turned me on to this, or this girl I used to kick it with, she turned me on to this. And that's your friend? Your friend will hand you a loaded needle with something in it that could potentially kill you, take your life, something that's going to cause you to lose everything you own in this world. It's going to cause you to have your family shun you, turn their backs on you, end you up in jail. Your friend gave you that. This person you call your friend, he gave you that. Check who you have around you. Cut them off. You know, I still go through my old neighborhood from time to time. Not to hang out, not to kick it, not because I want to show off a car, nothing like that. But it keeps it you know, familiar in my head, where I came from, what I've been through. And the sad part is, a lot of these guys I was walking the streets with at 13 years old, drinking 40s with, smoking blunts. I drive by and guess what? There they are, smoking blunts, drinking 40s, still walking down the streets like it's 1992, 1996. And if they want to do that, that's fine. They can do that. I want more in life. So I'm not going to run with a crew. I'm not going to, you know, be the fourth broke person. Call me what you want. I'm not stupid. The guys that I deal with on a daily basis, some of them are, you know, acquaintances. They're just people I have to deal with because either I employ them or they're a part of my everyday job or, you know, business. And then I have guys that are what I consider to be a friend. Guys that I know no matter what, they've got my back. And that doesn't mean when things are bad, oh, they're gonna, you know, turn into this super soldier and come fight with me. I don't need nobody to do that because A, I'm not getting into no fights. I'm not that guy. I don't need a lot of saving, but at times I may need someone to talk to. You know, that's when you know who your friends really are. When there's nothing to gain, nothing to lose, you just need someone that genuinely cares about you and your emotions. I love the small list of people that, you know, I call my friends, man. I really genuinely love these people. And that's because they understand me. They don't judge me. They know I'm human. They know my past. Some of them know the full extent of my past. Some of them don't. But at the end of the day, they're genuinely concerned for me. They're not going to let me go backwards. They're not going to let me go out here and do the things I used to do. You know, before I could call you a friend for letting me do that, you're more of an enemy. You're an enabler. You change the people around you, change your circle, and watch as your life changes. You know, you don't have to be popular. This ain't high school. We ain't signing yearbooks. If I break my arm, I don't need 100 signatures on my cast. I just need a solid group of people around me. You know, I've met people from different walks of lives that I never imagined I'd get close to because we're so different, but our hearts are in the same place, so we're so much the same. No, I don't hang out with the guys I used to, and I'm not going to. And for those that are doing good in life, I'm proud of you. I am genuinely proud and glad to see that you made it out, because a lot of us didn't. We buried so many people last year from violent acts, heroin overdoses, or should I say fentanyl overdoses. You know, I lost so many friends over the years to the system that doesn't even make sense anymore. So now I protect myself. I protect my family and I protect my friends. And I do that by keeping the bad people in the world away from me. Just because we used to hang out don't mean we're hanging out. Just because we did this and did that together don't mean we're hanging out. You know, I learned real quick what a friend was when that judge slammed that gavel, said, I sentenced you to 40 years in the Department of Corrections with this amount suspended with 10 years of serve. At that moment right there, I found out my whole everything I thought about what a friend was bullshit. Because none of them checked on me. None of them ever came to see me. They never stopped by to check on my mom. They never picked my son up and took him to a movie. Now I'm speaking on the guys that I don't consider to be my friends or close to me, because there are some that did. There's some amazing men out there. Lonnie, you know, my son's uncle, he took my son in like he was his. When he bought for his boys, he bought for my son. Me and Lonnie don't talk a lot, but I consider Lonnie to be a good friend. Because Lonnie did something he didn't have to do. He didn't want anything in return. That's a friend. Check your circle. Check the people you have around you. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't want to hang out no more. Focus on yourself. Only you can save you. I'm going to leave y'all with that, man. It's Monday. Happy to be alive. I'm living life. I got my little partner in crime right here, Mr. Georgie. What's up? That's how I live these days. That's important to me. I'm going to be here. I pray to you, you know, any of y'all that have a group of people around you that you think are your friends, reevaluate, man. Start cutting people out your life. Stop with the excuses. Nobody needs you more than you. Because if you're not here, then what? Jay Williams, let's live life.